someone runs in and gives me a heart. We freeze, they give me the heart, and I pull it out. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes we just do this, we freeze. Someone comes in, they put the heart in my hand, and I hold it here, and I pull it out. So, I mean, if I could really rip into someone's chest, I would.
We're not gonna do that now.
But there would be a lot of dead people. So, to preserve lives, we fake it.
We appreciate it. Próxima pregunta.
Hi, Lana.
Hi, sweetheart.
I'm swallowing down a lot of anxiety right now because I'm so nervous. But
You're doing good.
I'll try to keep it short.
Okay.
Once upon a time, once my sister called me over to be all like, hey, do you want to see this show with me, you know? And I didn't know what would have ensued. And tears, the crying, the screaming with happiness. Regina's our favorite character. And I think I speak for everyone when I say that Regina finally deserves her happy ending, right?
Yes!
So my question is, well, we used to think of Regina as a villain. Did you ever think that it would grow to be like this? I mean, she's kind of like this character of redemption that people love and they idolize her more than the main character.
Thank you. I think that what makes Regina so compelling is how complex she is. I think that her journey, and that's what's so interesting to watch, is her journey and how she evolves. The challenges that she has, it's very relatable. People watch her and they find a lot of inspiration, they get inspired, she's taught so many, she's taught me. Yeah, I mean, I didn't know she was gonna be this relatable, but I think, and I've said this before, her message is really inspiring because it shows us all that good can come from broken. And I've been saying that a lot, and it's true. And I hear so many people who have watched Regina go, oh my God, you know, we all possess darkness. We all have two sides. We all have these crazy thoughts. And I think when you watch Regina, it makes you feel like you're a little normal. It's okay to have these crazy thoughts. She has them, but she's still trying to be a better person. And I think that's her beauty. That's the biggest gift that she's given me and to everyone.
Given the richness of the character, have you thoughts about, or maybe preconceived notions about leading lady change? You know, that you say, I think leading lady, you're leading the shows in a sense. I know it's not soundable, I'm not gonna get in trouble, but has that changed? Finding such a rich lead character?
Yes, I love that I actually get to do both with Regina. She's a leading lady, but she's also a character. So it's the best of both worlds.
Nice gig. Next question.
Hi, I'm Graciela, and my question is, when you were a kid, did you ever imagine that this would be your life?
When I was a kid?
Yeah.
Yes. I think visualization is everything. My father used to say this to me. My father was a professional baseball player. He played here in Puerto Rico, and he played in the States for the Phillies and the Indians, and he always said to me when I was playing softball, because he didn't have boys, so I was a tomboy, and he said, okay, mommy, I want you to see the ball going past, like over the second baseman's head before you hit it. And I was like, okay. And visualization is a very powerful thing. If you see it happening and you just keep seeing it and don't lose that, you can manifest it. It can happen. And I always saw myself there, wherever I wanted to be. I was going to be working in the industry. I was going to be doing what I loved. And there was no one that can persuade me to do differently. And you know, when I was younger, a lot of people don't know this, and I don't mind sharing it, but I grew up in Brooklyn, and in the 80s, 90s, when it was like not a good place to grow up. And I always wanted to go to LaGuardia High, which was in Manhattan. And my father said, absolutely not. You're too young. to get on a train at 6, 7 in the morning. You're 13. And I cried, Bobby, please, please, please. And he said, no. And it killed me. And I thought, that's it, my dream's over. And then I realized, no, I just have to go about it differently. So if I didn't get to go to that school, I was going to go to a different school. And so visualization, see yourself there. Really see it. Take that time, think about it, and see yourself there, and you will get there.
Hello, my name is Michelle, and I wanted to ask you, I'm a college student right now, and I wanted to ask your advice for a future actress, writer, producer, director. What advice do you have for Latinos in the industry?
Write your stories. Write about how beautiful our culture is. Write about, go beyond the stereotypical, characters that have been created in the past. And there's been so much evolution in the Latino community in our industry. Eva Longoria is a very great example of that. I mean, you name it, there's tons. There's so many successful Latinos. But show our culture in a really cool, different way. Like, write about your crazy fun families, at the food that we love to eat, or the dancing and our passion. We're such an incredible culture. It's like, we are beautiful people. It's true. It's true. That's one thing being here is like, I've become a prouder Puerto Rican by being here. I'm spending time with all of you, and it makes me go, that's right, yo soy puertorriqueña, and I'm so proud to be Puerto Rican. So, bring it, elevate the culture, and write more, and show how beautiful we are as a whole in your writing.
Was that ever an obstacle, your Hispanic background,
Yes.
when you started acting?
Yes, because I don't,
Put you in a box, certain stereotype?
At first, they were like, oh, she's Latina, so I would audition for all these Latino roles. But then it was like, oh, she's not dark enough. Oh, you know what, her hair's not this enough, her lips aren't this enough, whatever.
Whatever the stereotype was.
Yeah, whatever the stereotype was, and I went, oh my God, and I would sit in these audition rooms, and I would look at all these other Latinas, and I would go, they do look more Latina than me. And, I'm a little more light, fair-skinned, and so I hated that. And so then I cut all my hair. I said, okay, if I'm not getting, cut all my hair. And then 3 days later, I booked a lead role on an NBC show called Windfall. And the show didn't make it very far, but what I realized was that there were so much stereotypes out there that they couldn't get past the exterior, so I had to show them something different. And what it really highlights is I'm a person. It doesn't matter what I am, I'm a person, and I work hard at what I do, and that's what gets me jobs. So go beyond the stereotypes. Show them how great you are as a talent, as an artist, and go beyond whatever their closed minds think.
Thank you. Próxima pregunta.
Good afternoon, Lana. Welcome again to your home. Long live Regina, my friends.
Thank you.
I wanted to take it a little bit on a lighter note. I wanted to know if you have any funny stories from set.
There's so many. I mean, it's funny because people ask me this and then I go blank. But, we as a cast, we're really lucky. We all get along. We all look after one another. When we're waiting in between, like before we go filming, like we're off in our room or whatever, we're always doing little silly things. Like we make each other laugh. Sometimes we read to one another. We help each other with auditions if there's anything coming up. We all eat together. We order sushi all the time, and we love our Starbucks. So, we become kind of like a little family. And I would say the most fun I've had was, I've had the most fun with probably Robert Carlyle, Rebecca Mader, who is hilarious, Sean McGuire, who makes everyone laugh nonstop. They are the real funnies on the show, like the real humorous people.
Are they time for pranks or no pranks allowed?
There's no pranks.
No?
No, I don't know. We are not a pranking group.
Okay.
I think the boys prank more than the girls.
Okay. Well, you have a mission for next season, so
Yes,
you'll
exactly.
tell us about it later.
I know.
Próxima pregunta.
I'm taking any ideas for pranks, let me know.
Hello, Lana. It's a
Hi.
pleasure to meet you again. I wanted to ask you, how difficult was it for you to play the role of having to do the curse of killing your father, as he's the one that you loved the most? And you said that you put your feelings into the character to feel her pain. So how did that feel for you?
Devastating. It was devastating. It was the second episode, and I was like, this is the second episode. I'm still learning who this character is. I was shocked by this decision that she was so desperate. She wanted this revenge so bad. She was so vengeful that she would kill her own father. I had a really hard time with that. But I kept thinking, okay, you can't judge your character when you're playing, you can't. As the actor, you can't judge them. You have to try to understand. But that's why you see a tear running down her face, because it was literally heartbreaking. And the best thing that could have come out of the whole show for me, and I think for the character, was in the 100th episode where she sees her father at the the graveyard in the underworld, and she gets to say, "I'm sorry." That was probably my favorite scene that I've ever been able to play in my career, because to have that closure for the character, to be able to say I'm sorry for things, sometimes you don't get that in life. I mean, we lose people, and then sometimes tragically, sometimes whatever, and you never get that opportunity. That was a really big gift to not just me, but for Regina, because it ate at my soul all 5 seasons that we weren't able to address that. And then when we did, it was like, I thanked Adam and Eddie and said, thank you so much. This was the best scene I've ever been able to act in.
Próxima pregunta.
Hi, Lana.
Hi.
I was wondering if you think that Regina will stop doubting herself and think, well, I am good. Because we see throughout the show that she has these good moments, and then something bad happens, and then she doubts. She's like, what should I do?
Yeah, I think that's part of what makes watching Regina so interesting, is that we're going to see how she deals with that in season 6. How she, why do these things keep happening to me? Is it karmic? Is it because I've done all these terrible things that there's no redemption for me? Or, no, I'm not going to have those thoughts. No, I am good. And it's just, there's this darkness inside, and I haven't learned how to deal with it. I think you're going to get these answers in season 6. It's still being developed.
Próxima pregunta, que nos queda poco tiempo.